It's 6:01. We'll bring this meeting to order.
And I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented from
January 30th.
January 30th.
Second.
It's been a motion made and seconded to approve the minutes of January 30th. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So Pam's not on the agenda. She called today and asked if she could have a few minutes of your time tonight, so I told her to come in and we would put her in before we started our other business. You guys are okay with that?
Okay, 2 minutes of your minute. The Conservation Commission has received some requests from residents to try to keep a path open at the Second Brook Conservation Site. And this is sort of an old story of when the town first acquired that property and we wanted to turn it into some place that's public, and we never wanted to call it a park. We don't want to have to maintain it, but it's sort of a little park-like entity. The town had equipment at that point to be able to brush hog that very hilly site once a year. And the town upgraded its equipment and could no longer brush hog it.
We're talking down by the bridge.
Off of an acre off of, it's on Mill Street. Has old mill ruins on it.
Right.
And we did at some point in, I don't know, in the 12 or so years that we've had it, make a path, a little sure path that went down to the brook, but it's very hard to keep it maintained. It basically needs to be mowed, that path, every week or other week, and we volunteers try to keep up with it, but we're wondering if the town might be able to do that or help the Conservation Commission do it. And we have requested this on several previous occasions and been told that that wouldn't work. But I'm wondering if we could revisit it because we've got people who would like to use the site talking about how they can't really get down there very safely, they don't think, because of the ticks and the tall grasses. So I've been charged to come and ask you for that.
No, it's really steep down there?
It's, just to keep it from growing up into trees. You know, it's an old little house site.
Yeah,
but
the house burned,
down,
right.
and there was all this garbage there. So the Conservation Commission and Earl Stockwell and I think some members of the town road crew at the time did a massive cleanup there and pulled out something like 17 dumpster loads of garbage sometime in the 90s. And we've been we planted a row of hemlocks to border the neighboring property, and we got a grant, Lisa Papazian, when she was on the Conservation Commission, got a grant to do an interpretive sign that's mounted down below. And there used to be a copy of it up in the office. I'm not sure if it's still up there. Anyway, because there are all these mill ruins. So it's, there's a little bit of interest to go down there. But the access is a little weird because of how steep the road is. And the road crew has kind of graded the road, so it's hard to get a car to park in there. And we go in about once a year and just kind of weed whack it and try to keep the trees down. It's just like grass and there is this little path in there, but it's kind of steep. I think not a very good mower, but a weed whacker or a kind of beater mower can mow that path, and it doesn't take that long. It's just that conservation commissioners seem to have their volunteer plates kind of full for taking care of it. So I'm back to ask if the town, if whoever mows for the town might be able to do that once in a while in the summer.
I haven't talked to Brian at all about like how much time. What this is the first.
Yeah, Cynthia just heard about this today.
So I haven't had time to talk to him or even.
Does the town even have a mower? Small.
I don't know. Well, they have some type of mower, but I don't know what they have for mowing equipment. You know?
Or Rebecca, I don't know if the town has one. I don't. Yeah, I don't really know what the picture is, but I'm just
Who mows out here?
relaying the message.
Ron?
No, we
No,
do,
we
but
have
it's is it just a regular push
It's
mower?
a push mower.
Yeah,
And then there's the electric push mower. I think we must have at least two.
yeah, and then I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what they have honestly.
The path is rough. It's not. You know, one wouldn't want to take a really nice mower like that new electric mower down there because it's, you know, it's like an off-grade gravel path that has been growing up for a number of years. So it probably be good to have somebody who might be charged with doing the work check it out and see what they think when there's not snow on the ground. But anyway, it just came up at the last meeting, and this is your last meeting before we meet again, so Cynthia squeezed me on here for this last minute request. So, okay.
We'll
More questions?
explore it when
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
when the season is appropriate.
When we can see it. All right.
Great. Thanks very much.
But I'll be here.
Thank you.
That'll
See
be
you
here
then.
before we know it.
Will it really?
It will. Spring is coming.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Absolutely.
Okay, the first thing I had was V-Trans sent this letter. They did an inspection of our bridges. They're required to do that on bridges that are over 20 feet. And the bridge over East Putney Brook, they told us that we had to do some problem solving to either post the bridge for 5 tons at both ends or extend the existing runner system laterally so that they would cover the full width of the bridge. So I talked to Brian about it, and his question to me would, if they did the option B, what would the limit be? And it would be 8 tons at that point.
Extend the existing runner system laterally.
Yeah. So we need to send in what we are going to do with this bridge within 60 days of the notice. After talking with Brian about it, about the 2 options, he said that we should just do the second option. It'll give it a little bit more more weight that can go on it. It will meet the requirement. It won't cost that much money. And so I would need you guys to approve it and sign this. It has to be signed by the select board.
What's the cost involved? Do we have any idea?
No, we didn't look. I mean, it's basically, I guess, I don't know what the cost was. He didn't feel like it was going to be too expensive. But we didn't actually get an estimate on it.
Had this ever been written up before?
Not that I could find. Yeah.
There's no one on me.
I think with everything that's going on and bridges being looked at, I think they're just being a lot more fussy about stuff. He'd never heard that this bridge was an issue.
There's an asterisk there, but it must be within 60 days of receipt of this letter. Oh, and then we would need to make, because May 31st.
Right. We have to respond with we have to respond with what we're going to do within 60 days and tell them when we will have it done.
So we don't have to have the runner system installed within 60 days.
No.
Okay.
That's the way they put it to me. It does seem like that when you read it.
Intent to comply, right. Yeah, you might just want to make note of the fact that winter weather will prevent us from
Yeah.
completing this until spring. I mean, seems obvious, but
Yeah, well, no, not everything's obvious.
in fact, nothing's obvious.
For clarity's sake.
For clarity, I will do that, yes.
I'll make a motion that we approve extending the existing runner system laterally so that they cover the full width of the bridge, which is bridge number 29 on TH21 over East Putney Brook. Where exactly is this bridge? I can't picture it. Which one is it?
The one up
Is this Cemetery Road? No.
I think so. I think it's the only one that.
Is it?
It looks like
Cemetery
the
Road?
road going over some, yeah.
It is Cemetery Road.
The old mill's down on this side.
Yeah,
down
okay.
here, and
Looks a little funky, but I think that's.
Must be.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks a
No,
little
it's-
different.
Honestly, I gave this to Brian. I didn't really, I asked the questions he
must be
wanted me
where
to
it is.
ask, and I didn't really get,
It's the bridge for greater than
Oh, no, is that
Or is that
I don't,
the
I,
one?
over on the other side of the road?
Yeah,
Route
I think it
5?
is, actually.
That's the only, that
Makes more
was,
sense.
Which one?
Up by the campground?
Oh.
oh, yes, no, yes.
yes,
Yeah. I say it didn't look quite right to the other.
no.
Past, so
Because
Wilson's
there's an
is
old-
right up here?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense for it being 5, because I would think that one on Cemetery Road would be
That Cemetery
That's not-
Road is a.
more
right,
significant than
right.
that, but maybe not.
Yeah, yeah.
But still, that weight limit, does that get a fire truck across it or not?
Well, you know, that's a discussion that Brian and I had. He's like, our trucks weigh 10 tons.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but to comply with the length of this bridge and what they want,
That's
these are
what
the
we
two
need to do.
options, and we felt
Right.
at least go with the higher
Yeah,
option
weight
of the
limit
two.
one.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's right.
as long as there's not a replace
20
on
feet, you
it.
don't really have to pay attention to the weight. Anyway,
just go a little
just
faster.
A little faster, exactly. We've all seen that.
We did?
I will make a second to that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve option B for the upgrade to Bridge 29 over Town Highway number 21, East Putney Brook,
Yeah.
to extend the existing runner system laterally so that it covers the full width of the bridge, and will boost the limit to 8 tons. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor? Aye.
So the last time, I think the last meeting, I told you guys about the bill that I'd received from RSG about it was their final bill for the second phase of the sidewalk work that they did. The contract that we signed with them was for $23,300. It stated in the contract that it wouldn't go over that. So when I got this bill puts us over about $4,000. The bill's for $4,800. The total of the entire project was $26,500. So I held it. I asked the question of why. You know, I didn't know we were going. Nobody told me we were going over. And so Dirk stopped in here when he was on his way through, going somewhere else, and explained to me that it was the gist of what he was saying. He was going to get me a breakdown of what actually put it over, but I haven't gotten that yet. But it was mostly, you know, coming the extra time to meet with the residents on Route 5, the houses, and a lot of extra work on the bike ped grant. But nowhere during that time did anybody tell me that we were, you know, I had told him, especially about the Route 5 stuff, I had told him, look, we want you to do this, but let me know how much it's going to cost, because I don't know that we're going to do it if it's a lot of money. He put a lot of it onto the fact that we threw the bike ped in the middle of it, and that wasn't part of the original agreement.
And is that true?
It is true. Yeah, I mean, the bike ped was a grant that we decided we need to apply for it. We know the transportation alternatives one is coming up, but we're not sure when. But the transportation alternative was the original that the
Right.
contract was for. So I told him I would talk to you guys about it. I don't know what we want to do, if we want to push back a little bit, or if we feel, I mean, I do feel that that bike ped stuff was kind of thrown into the mix, but I would have appreciated more of a heads up of how over we were going to be. I just didn't have that. I don't know what you guys feel about it. I mean, there was a lot of time that he just put in on the transportation alternative that he did not bill us for, his own time. But I don't know, I guess we probably I should have pushed a little more about I guess I just kind of figured that if we were going to go over, then
Somebody would have let you know.
somebody would let me know. I did say it a couple times. I'm not sure I really said it during the bike ped application, but
Well, maybe we should wait until we get that breakdown
Okay.
before we. Does that make
Yeah, I
sense?
think
Yeah.
so. It would be interesting to see why.
Yeah, and really review it thoroughly and.
so the other,
Because, I mean, the meeting, I think all along, we had expressed that we were going to have a meeting with the residents because we
Yeah.
knew
yeah,
that there was going to be an issue there.
yeah.
So-
Okay, I'll wait for that. I told him I would bring it up at the next meeting. I don't know why I haven't gotten that breakdown from him, but
Well, we had the meeting, but then we
the fire
also
station
did the
and the
walk
walk
around, and
around.
the walk around might have
it was the
been-
walk around that he
that
was
would
talking
be an
about.
extra. But we should see what
I mean, I
we
know.
should see how much we got billed for what.
I know that I specifically asked him for some type of, I said to him, is there a way that you can give a picture to these residents that are living there so they could see what it looked like? You know, I mean, I didn't know what the technology was like. Can you make
Right.
a 3D picture? What I said, but before you do that or do anything for this, I want to know if it's going to cost more, then let's not
Right.
bother. And he never really did that part, that specific. He didn't actually do the picture part, but he did come down for the meeting. But I mean,
Well, they did the diagrams of the individual
Yeah.
houses relative to the road, et cetera.
you know, but the other part of it is that I was under the assumption that the bike ped grant, most of the work was done
Right.
that would have just gone into the transportation alternative, and that there may be something that I just don't understand about what he had to change for that next grant. But
Yeah, I think you should review the bill. I mean, we have had this experience with them before of costs
yeah,
being greater than we assumed they were going to be. So, you know, whether we want to,
Then
how
the
we
other-
want to approach that, but we probably ought to make that clear to them
Okay.
that we're aware that this is an issue. This isn't the first time this has happened,
Okay.
and that we need to be notified if it's going to happen, if we're going to continue to have a relationship with them, kind of
Yeah.
thing. I mean, does
Exactly.
that sound,
All right, we just
does
need
that sound reasonable?
Tighter
Yeah.
fiscal reporting.
because then the other piece of it is if this ends up being the bill and we need to pay it and there isn't any leeway to, I don't know if we need to, I mean, there was an agreement between Landmark to pay half and,
Right.
you know, go
Was
back.
there a cap on that?
Yeah.
Well,
So that's the other, okay, I will
well,
push-
maybe have a conversation with
I mean-
Brent or whoever
Yeah.
about how they would. Maybe they should just be included in that conversation because the contract
Yeah,
included
okay,
them
that's
as
good.
well. So, you know, they may say, "Well, we're not paying anymore because they don't." I don't know.
Yeah, okay. All right, so I'll bring that back. I told him, I said, it'll be a while before you get paid. Okay. So the Wyndham Regional Commission, and I think you guys already approved them, at one of the meetings I brought to you, the municipal planning grant that they applied for. They got the municipal planning grant for $8,000. They're ready to do the work on the town plan. So they've gone to the Wyndham Regional Commission to work with them, an agreement between Wyndham Regional and Town of Putney for someone down there, a consultant, to help them with the town plan. So the $8,000 was to hire somebody, basically, and they've decided to work with Wyndham Regional. So there's an agreement here between Wyndham Regional and the town of Putney that needs to be signed by Brad. I don't know, Brad and Phil, in order for them to start doing their work. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess this is voting on a different, I didn't make a copy of it. I don't know if you want to, I read through it. There wasn't anything that made me crazy.
So do we need a vote on this? Or?
Yeah, and then Brad can sign it.
And it's all what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, they actually, Phil and I can't remember the guy's name from Wyndham Regional, and the group all got together and hashed out the planning commission hashed out the details
And
with
has
them.
Phil looked this well?
Yes, he's the one that gave it to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he feels it's correct?
Yep.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we approve the agreement between Wyndham Regional Commission and the town of Putney for Wyndham Regional helping Putney with professional planning support.
Second that.
All right. It's been moved and seconded to accept the agreement between the Wyndham Regional and the town of Putney in regards to the planning grant. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So I think there's a place for you to sign, Brian. I just wanted to, this is more a question for me because I've never heard anybody talking about it, but I got an email from Matt Mann from Wyndham Regional that said he wanted to give us a heads up that there's an interstate sign project being developed this year. If there are any comments, inclusions of signs the town has discussed in the past regarding interstate signage, please let me know. Have we ever had any issues or discussions about any of the interstate signage that runs through Putney? The project will replace where needed type A and B signs on mainline ramps and signs needed at the intersecting state highways at interchanges between 1 through 6. Have you ever had anybody complain that the signs are not?
Never heard of any issues.
All right.
All right, well, this isn't happening for a while. So if you come across something, I mean, I'm going to talk to him a little bit more about, what types of things might a town be asking?
Well, types A and B, the only question I would be is...
Advertisement.
Exactly, that's what I'm wondering, is
Is that
whether the
ads?
local advertising
I'm
ones
thinking that
are...
virtually all of them are in Dummerston. For coming for the entrance exit. I mean, there's signage in the town of Putney. There was the old way station, things like that. But as far as advertising, the
It would be
businesses.
before
I was wondering if
Is
like
that
Santa's
down
Land might, how the little signs.
Yeah.
that they-
Right, there's one of those small discrete signs that
Yeah.
list the businesses, but isn't that
Santa's Land making it?
that may actually cross into Putney? I guess when you're up on the bridge,
You're in
you're in Putney, right?
Yeah.
So okay.
All right, well, I will touch base with him, but I just wanted to kind of put a bug in your ear in case anybody,
I've never heard of anything.
And I have to
Yeah.
take a quick ride and look at the
Yeah,
signs.
that's what I was thinking.
Well,
Kind
and
of
I tried to ask him,
refresh my memory of what
our town's
everything is.
asking
I
you.
mean,
I just
Exactly.
haven't
Well,
been able to-
and what are we supposed to be looking for?
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
we
maybe
should
there's
probably
something we
review
should be
it.
thinking about that,
Yeah.
so I didn't know if there's ever been a discussion before before I called him and he says, well, I already talked to somebody about this. Okay, so I'll talk to him about
the
that.
exit and on off are pretty clearly marked.
Yeah, well, I think that's works into the same project.
Right.
As you're coming up the hill, you've got the,
Sure. The little advertising,
Yeah, I
right?
think
Services, right?
That's all part
Sure.
of it.
They're also going to be doing a major paving project through, I want to say they
On the
said,
interstate?
yeah, and they sent us some plans. I asked Brian if there was anything he wanted to know about it, and there was nothing that was actually going to be touching anything, and he didn't. So that's another project they're doing. I want to say they said Brattleboro or Rockingham.
Bert's going to be thrilled.
Yeah, well, I said to, when I got it, I thought, Brattleboro to Rockingham, it didn't say in the email that it was the interstate, and they had no plans with it at that point. I'm like, it's got to be, there's no way they're going up Route 5.
Again, yeah, no.
So, so I didn't, but when I printed the agenda, I didn't have anything really to report on my end, but I did want to let you guys know that yesterday I went to Rutland to a grant writing workshop. It was free and it was sponsored partly by Senator Leahy's office. No, that's wrong. Peter Welch. It was one of the best workshops. It was free, and I can't believe that people didn't take advantage of it. There was quite a few people there, but if somebody didn't take advantage of it, they were crazy. But there was so much information, and the people that were there were so good.
Was it specifically for municipalities?
It was specifically for municipalities. They went over the grants.gov website and how you can find all sorts of federal grants. They had a woman there that has written grants for the federal government, huge grants down to small nonprofit grants. So she was really good, had a lot of insider tips on how to write grants and what they're... Wish I'd had this before our Transportation Alternatives grant went in, but it did make me feel good about, there was a lot that she said that we did do.
That you did do.
Yeah. So that was good. There were 4 other people in the room that applied for the Transportation Alternatives grant.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the current one.
Yep.
Huh.
So, and then the Vermont Community Foundation, they had someone there speaking for that, and they actually have a couple of small grants that I'm going to look into. But just the amount of information that I got on grant writing, and first of all, it made me feel good because a lot of it I already knew. I thought, okay, I'm not too far off, but just knowing how to get onto these websites and have them, filter out the things you're interested in, and they'll just automatically email alert you. So I am going to start kind of talking with the nonprofits in the area and talking with the different departments within the office and just finding out what people are looking for. Because if we have one source that people can come to, not that we want to do 1 million grants a year because they're a lot of work, they cost money. It's not free money. But at least if we know what's out there. One of them that I was interested in it's called I think it's Inspire grant through Vermont Community Foundation, and they want every town in the state of Vermont to access this money. They want to have this goal of getting every town. And it's basically just something to bring the community together. One of the examples she gave was Mendon after Irene. They applied for a grant to have a community picnic that thanked all their volunteers. They invited people from out of town that helped them. They got a grant for that. So one of the things that we were thinking about was we were already been thinking about the pool having a pizza party, cookout kind of gathering to kind of promote the pool.
Let's upgrade
again. So I'm going to look into that for maybe June. But it's a grant you can apply for once. It's the 15th of the month every month. I just don't know the details of it, but they called it a back of the napkin kind of grant. Very simple. So it was really good. I was glad that I went. Plus I met a lot of people from the area, so. And then they had to do the, stab at the end. Look around, this is your competition.
Gotta slash some tires.
Napkins in triplicate.
One of the town of Bennington, he was there, and I think they applied for a scoping through the TA grant just for the scoping study, so they hadn't, to do the initial.
What is this scoping?
It's basically what we just went through with the phase 2 with RSG.
Scope of the project.
Oh, the scope of a project.
Scoping study, yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Oh, no.
So, but other than that, we've been working hard on the town report. Well, I haven't, but Laura has. I went around town and took some pictures, and that's all ready. We've approved it, and we'll be out.
Sent off. Good.
Other than that, I don't have anything else. I did print an updated financial report. It includes everything up to today. There's nothing too exciting. I don't know if it's just normal, but the heat at the fire station, we gotta do something about the place. It seems like we're getting an oil delivery every, what did we say? At one point it was 2 weeks.
When we had that cold snap, it was like 8 days or something, and we went through
200?
approximately 200 gallons. Yeah.
So I don't know. That's something I'm gonna have to work on it. The snowstorm seemed to, the road crew seemed to keep up, and we did get the sidewalk plowed. I think it was once on Saturday.
Seems, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it
looks
was
like it's been getting done. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it was tough
Yeah,
because
that
it was
was
a continuing. You know, you get 1 to 2
It was a big
inches. And
snowstorm.
yeah.
there was a point where Brian was going to go out and do it, but he heard there was going to be rain, so he was concerned if he had done
Ice
it,
over.
it would just be
Yeah,
a sheet of
just
ice.
turn
So
it.
he left what snow was on there.
Yeah, it was tough because at the time I wasn't in there and they pulled Brett off his route.
Yeah.
And, it's a
It's a
little
balance.
bit of a
Yeah.
juggling act for
It
Brian
is.
at that point.
Yeah.
There you go.
But it seemed to be people were pretty, pretty patient with it. I didn't have too many people say anything. Other than that, I haven't had one complaint about the roads at all. I don't know if Brian's getting any at his place. I don't think so.
I think everyone had enough warning, and people were.
Well, I talked to
pretty
Tom
sensible
about it
about
today
it,
and asked him how it went
fortunately.
for them, and he said it was quiet. He said them shutting off the Massachusetts
Yeah,
Yeah,
that kept
made a
things
huge difference because they would have been on the interstate all night long.
Well, that's like
People coming north.
all the complaining
On and
about,
off.
on the Long Island Expressway. It's like,
Oh.
what are these people doing
What are
on the
they-
Long Island Expressway in 30 inches of snow? And
Yeah.
and they're like, I can't believe that I'm sitting out here. It's like, nobody mentioned this to you,
Yeah, so he said they weren't even. It was quiet. People were pretty much just.
Well, every time we get a snowstorm, we'll just have them shut this board.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
The easier way.
I couldn't believe it when I
Well,
heard that though. I was
The
like,
skiing's going to be great. We're going to get here earlier. Huh?
That'd be done. But nothing else. I think we're on track with our budget. There's a few things that are over, but there's some warrants Anita has ready. Was it easier to get back here, Laura, at 6 instead of 5:30? Or was it harder to just leave? Gave me a little extra time.
That was it, right?
Yeah. So at the next meeting, if you guys can just tell me how you've done it in the past, do we kind of go over the warning and talk about how we're going to handle things at town meeting? Is that what you've always done?
Pre-town.
Yeah, we so often have a informational session. I mean, we want to have it.
We probably don't need to make that. We have at times
have.
had that separate from
Right.
town meeting, but
We've sort of had the one with the big issue of the.
yeah, I think we could just
Public
post
safety
it
issues.
for our
For your regular meeting?
regular meeting.
regular
wouldn't you
meeting
think?
and have it here.
Have it
People
open,
Right,
yeah.
open here for people to come in and
Pre-town meeting discussion or something like that.
Right.
Okay.
call it. Yeah. It's a
Maybe
good
we do
idea.
that,
We don't generally get more than 20 people or so. If we get
If we start at
So I'll-
5:30, have that at
6.
6 or 6:15, something like that. It's probably
Okay.
fine. You know,
All right.
we can wait till you have an idea of what our agenda looks like, and
Yeah.
if it's a light agenda, then
Now, haven't we not typically had the speaker there?
It's probably not a bad idea.
Just to get
Moderator.
familiarized with
Oh,
what's
yeah,
on
okay.
the
Yeah,
warrants. And
yeah. I know she's. Well, has she been in or not? She and I have talked about it a couple times. I've ran into her a couple times.
I know that
She
she
knows there
signed
was
up for a
only
training.
one.
Did
Yeah.
that training happen already? Must
It's
have.
the 28th.
Oh, it is.
still Virginia.
Still Virginia. Yeah.
Okay.
Her big concern, I think I may have mentioned this before, but her big concern is sort of personal agendas that come from the floor primarily and how to manage those. So, you know, it sounds like that may be somewhat limited this year because in the past we've had sort of several of those type of things, and this year it seems to be just the one. So, it may not be a big issue this year. But.
Okay. All right. And I'll make sure I'll get that out way ahead of the meeting so that people can plan.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as I did get I got a draft from Daniel of the new RFP that he came up with, which I guess is basically the same except for the first page. So I'll email that to you guys because it's pretty cumbersome. And I'll also be emailing the draft of the delinquent tax policy, the latest version, which you may already have, but I'll send you just in case it's not, and a copy of the street light policy, because those are two things that, well, I won't email it to you, I guess.
Because they'll be coming. Oh no, but he'll be interested. He's going to stay involved.
Okay, I'll still email it to you.
Yeah, make sure you flood him with emails over the next year. You just keep him right
Just,
on the list.
just
But you can go ahead and-
Are you still having trouble getting them?
in your
Yeah.
mailbox? Huh.
Okay. So just because those will be, you know, coming up in the next, not this next meeting, because that's a lot to discuss, but. maybe-
What, did we get the bill from GMP for the lights or not yet?
Yeah.
Not yet.
No. They're all done. Have you guys had any feedback? I mean, I haven't been down here enough to even notice the street lights.
I never come down at night, so I don't.
Yeah, no, I haven't gotten anything. So, other than that, that's pretty much. I mean, we do need to go into executive session about a legal issue, but other than that, I don't have. Been pretty quiet.
Good.
Yeah, Laura's been the one that's buzzing around the office,
Good.
working and working.
Okay. Motion to enter executive session. Second.
Second? Yes. There won't be any action,
Proceed
so
into executive session. All those in favor?
it's not an actionable executive session, so is it?
Well, I don't know that because there is maybe a decision that needs to be made.
Okay.